Hey everybody, I just wanted to go over, rehash the Virgo season collection because I realized that in the background, it was a lot of noise in the background and it was weird. And then I was upset because nobody could hear me and I wouldn't want to listen to that for like a whole hour either. So I'm just going back over it in the tone that you guys can hear me in. So, referring to the Kabbalah, you know, learning about the zodiac is learning about your own energy and the things that you have to overcome in order for you to reach a completion in your journey. So for Virgo, this is the completion of the lunar year. And in this month, it corresponds to the sign of Virgo, which is an earth sign and is ruled by Mercury. And also, the sign of Virgo is connected to practicality, working, and serving others. Um, People born this month feel the need to achieve financial security. People under this sign find success in community careers like nurse and social workers, service technicians. They can also be in the fashion industry or artists. Um, and Virgos acquire their attribute of criticism. It's easier to criticize and see what's wrong with others, but it's harder for one to see what's wrong with oneself. So when is the correction with Virgo complete? When they learn to love, honor, and accept the other person as they are without criticism, judgment, or trying to change them. Once the Virgo achieves completely unconditional love, they have finished their correction. So financially, September is not an easy month. Many important changes might happen. The need for new business ventures, different ones with new consciousness, international business connections also take place during this time. You know that because like school season starts, so now we're starting to invest in that. This is also the time where people start to move. Harvest is happening. We're getting ready for a new season, so we're moving right now. Also, Virgo season. There's also a mutable sign. Immutable means like adapt. So this is adapting sign, a sign of change. In personal relationships, there are more international connections and meanings because Virgo rules over Mercury and Mercury rules over traveling and communication. So um, expect geographical interests, wanting to travel, meeting new people. There's an openness to go out of the family circle and the tribe during this time and meet different people. There's also a greater inclination to widen and enlarge the metaphysical vessel. This is a time to get in touch with your spirituality during this time. So, Virgo season started on Friday, and it started off right because Rhapsody's album came out. Her album is so lit. If you haven't heard it yet, please go listen to it. Such a good album. But we all know that the Virgo symbol is a woman carrying a sheaf, which is a bundle of grain stalks, and she's considered the virgin. And this describes like the attributes of that being modest and humanity. This is also the symbol of wisdom in the beginning of the harvest season and fertility. Hey, how you doing? Virgos will help anyone in any situation. They're servers, but they enjoy serving. They're analytical, great problem solvers, have excellent memory. They come off judgmental, they criticize, they're picky, and they worry. They're also perfectionists, and they love routine and rituals. So during this time, this is between the 150 and 180th degree, and that's, you know, the area of the Virgo zodiac. And the sun is moving through the Virgo zodiac from August 23rd to September 22nd, and then it's going through the Virgo constellation from September 16th to October 30th. And during this time, you feel your energy going towards learning the value of being mindful, practical, serving, reliable. You start to feel those attributes of a Virgo, working on your communication, having interest in studying, having a desire to move or change something about your regular routine right now. Virgo is ruled by the sixth ruling house, and this house rules over work, health, service, disputes, litigation, debts, enemies, losses, work ethic, The sun in this position helps one pay attention to detail, breaks things down. So you're dealing with your left brain during this time. Fixating on your health issues during this time. Pay attention to matters of self-improvement. Physical and psychological weaknesses may come to light also. And you're also going to focus on different adjustments that can be made. This is again touching back to this is a time of change and adapting. Playing around with the number of the sixes, since we're talking about the sixth ruling house, 6 is also the number of the union of conscious and unconsciousness, balance, creation. 2 times 3, and we know 3 is the number of creativity and spirituality. So having 2 of those creates a balance between the subjective and the objective realm, which is, the physical realm and the spiritual realm. It's also the number of loyalty and harmony, and it's also the number of man. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. And it's also, and when you refer to the Metu Netter book, the 6th act of creation is in the 9th sphere. September is the 9th month of the year. This stage uses all the previous factors to execute and coordinate physical energy matter into physical things and events. So we're using our creativity that we're getting from the 6th house and we're turning into physical things. And we know that Virgo rules over material wealth, and they have a materialistic personality about them. A lot of their goals are material wise. The 6th act of creation is also considered as Mother Goddess, because if you get into Metu Netter, you'll learn that the acts 1st through 5 are about introducing the will and the spirit, and how the will and the spirit come together, and then all the details that separate the different DNA codes or algorithms, if you will, to the physical being. So then the 6th act of creation is taking all those elements and actually creating something physical. Also, the 6th sense is intuition, so that's bringing something physical, because all the other 5 senses involve something physical, and then you're bringing the 6th sense, which is spiritual. The 6th stage of manifestation, going right back to Metu Netter. Netter becomes aware that balance, oneness, and coexistence must be between the 4th and the 5th manifestation, which is your subjective and your objective realm. We're coming back to that concept of balance of the physical and the spiritual realm. One must be in the world and not of the world. And referring to the 7 bodies of man, the 6th body is referring to the breath of life for the living and the electromagnetic motor force for the non-living to survive in the physical plane. The stones that are associated with the number 6 are agate, aventurine, carnelian, citrine, copper, emerald, jade, obsidian, and rose quartz. So if you think about the colors, it's mostly green, which we're dealing with the heart chakra. Rose quartz is pink, also dealing with the heart chakra. And then you have carnelian and citrine, which deal with your root and sacral chakras. So you're dealing with your sensual side, and you're also dealing with your emotional side. So again, coming back to the concept of your physical and your spiritual self. Coming to a balance of your higher and lower self during this season. Doing a lot of analyzing of your relationships with others and your relationship with yourself and things that you've been doing. Because this is the time, if you're going to make certain changes, this is the time to make those changes. So, moving on. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, which rules over communication, traveling, and the throat chakra. We know that throat chakra is associated with with blue, and it's the 5th chakra. Playing around with the number 5. 5 is the number of humanity. You have 5 fingers and 5 toes. You also have 5, limbs, head, legs, and arms. 5 is also associated with freedom, intelligence, adventure, health, and platinum, silver, carnelian, and amazonite are associated with number 5. So we're coming back into the physical realm with the throat chakra and communicating, expression, truth, integrity, and originality. Going back to Mercury, when you think about Mercury, you think about Hermes, who is the god of messages and thievery. And also, if you're into the Orishas, Eshu, he stands at the crossroads of the physical and the spiritual realm. So we're coming back to the physical and the spiritual balance. That's the reoccurring theme for this season. Eshu gives initial permission for one to communicate with an Orisha, and he is also considered the Orisha of chance and unpredictability, and assists with herbal medicines. He's also known as a trickster. One story that I know is he took some yams and then he made gold footprints that go towards heaven, and he lied and he said that God stole the yams. So that's how he ended up at the crossroads. That was like his punishment of being in that limbo. But we're coming back to communication. Now we're coming into certain things that can be traits of the Virgo, of since being control of communication. You can also have an overactive throat chakra, with that being you come into talking too much, you can be talking too harshly, you could go into gossiping. We're going into that when we refer to Eshu and Hermes, because they were great communicators, so they were also able to create great illusions with their communication. Wednesday is the day of Virgo season, because Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, and Wednesday is a great day to travel and study. Also, Wednesday will be a great day to talk to your orishas or your deities of your choice at your altar. On Wednesdays, relating to Wednesdays, the best crystals to wear are aventurine. You also might want to have mica, lavender, lemongrass, and peppermint in your bath, in your tea, maybe as an oil or as like a humidifier in air. But this is a good time to have those things. These are also great things for relaxation, as you're coming down from the Leo season and now you're starting to analyze. So relaxation is in order. You also want to have lemongrass and peppermint, which is good because flu season is coming. So you definitely want those. Going into the colors during this season, gray. The lighter the gray, the more feminine. The darker the gray, the more masculine. Gray is a color of intelligence, neutrality, balance, and it's been associated with depression as well. Silver, the color of equilibrium. Coming back to that term of balance, it's with feminine power and spiritual energy, and it's a symbol of wealth, elegance, and this is also associated with the moon goddess. Dark green, which is the color of fertility, hope, happiness, change, nurturing, friendship, peace, freedom, and this is believed to cure ailments of the eyes, also looking at the color green, and it's also associated with the number 5, Mercury, and Venus. White is the color of purity, friendship, mourning, sincerity, charity, and truth. It's associated with the sun and moon, so we're coming back to that balance, feminine and masculine energy. It's also associated with number 7, which is the number of perfect order, perfection. Bringing back to that, trait about Virgos being perfectionists. And the best stones to wear, when talking about the spirituality, and also when you use white candles, amethyst, pearl, and fluorite. We also know that Virgo is an earth sign, and Virgo is also a mutable earth sign. But with earth signs, they're problem solvers, balanced, wise, useful, productive. Virgo adds to the earth part with discernment, courtesy, servitude, and practicality. And when dealing with the tarot cards, the Hermit is the card of solitude, self-analysis, and contemplation. And the King of Pentacles is the card of person handling responsibility and love well. And these two tarot cards are associated with Virgo season. Referring to the other two earth signs, Capricorn is considered the initiator, so that's the cardinal sign. That's a sign when you start doing new things. Taurus is a fixed sign, so that sign is more rooted and more stubborn. And then when you're dealing with Virgo, it's a balance of both, changing and being stubborn simultaneously. So, one of the messages for Virgos especially, but also others during the season to be mindful of is to slow down with always preparing for the future. One thing that Virgos have a tendency of becoming are workaholics, always preparing for the future. They can also become materialistic, because they're associated with the Pentacles also in tarot cards to show, to show that they are materialistic. Some of the stones associated with this is moss agate, amethyst, carnelian, citrine, garnet, hematite, jade, lapis, sapphire, tiger eye, silver, and platinum. So if you pay attention to the colors, we're looking like a lot of earthy colors, browns, green, blue, a little like a light orange. We're dealing with the heart chakra, and we're also dealing with the throat chakra. So that's Virgo season in a nutshell. The colors you should be having, the crystals you should be having, going down the line with the different planets and where they're going to be during this time. As you know, Mercury is going to be in Virgo, and then September 15th is going into Libra. Mercury, it controls over thoughts and problem solving and learning and curiosity. And with it being in Virgo, you can expect your thoughts being more logical, being more towards productivity, trying to gain some type of material gain or wealth during this time. And then once you get to Libra season, you're going to feel more of a harmony and a balance finally settle in that you were trying to create during the Virgo season. Venus is going to be in Virgo also until September 15th, and then Venus is going into Libra season. And we know that Venus rules over love and romance and relationships and friendships and social skills. And with it being in Virgo, you can find yourself analyzing your relationships, your love relationships. You can also find yourself analyzing your communication skills and maybe trying to solve some problems you may have with yourself or with your friends or maybe, relatives and stuff during this time. And then when you get into Libra season on the 15th, you can find a harmony finally come after, all that productivity and everything you've been doing during the Virgo season. You may also find yourself in servitude of your friends and your family during this season too, because we know Virgo is the sign of servitude. Mars will also be in Virgo season. Mars is the planet of motivation, initiation, aggression, confidence, inner drive, physical strength, and stamina, and also sex drive. And with it being in Virgo, you can find yourself being more methodical and more thoughtful before you get into sexual endeavors. You can also find yourself being more methodical about your motivation or your goals with your interactions with other people. For those who are hot-headed during this time, it's highly suggested that you become more analytical about how you explode and how you blow up. Work on your communication under this sign, because we know that this is the sign of Mercury and you should be working on your communication during this sign. So definitely work on that part. Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, and Jupiter concentrates on ethics, philosophy, luck, law, religion, truth, and education. Jupiter, with it in Sagittarius, Sagittarians are always on a quest for knowledge, on a quest for spiritual, intellectual, and geographical knowledge. So you can find yourself, and I also see that as a pattern right now, as far as religion, spirituality, and philosophy goes. We are in a transition right now. We're analyzing more information that's being given to us. We're not just taking what's being handed to us right now. We're analyzing things. We're becoming better problem solvers. Like the anger that we were feeling, maybe like early, I want to say like 2014, 15, all that anger we was feeling, all that stuff is starting to come to like more of an organized fashion, and you'll feel that coming into play during this Virgo season. This Virgo season kind of tipped off with like a crazy snowball effect with the Amazon forest being on fire and a lot of other things coming into play with women and the different people we have in Congress and stuff, and also our international affairs are becoming a bigger interest to us. So you do see that coming into play about being more geographically knowledgeable. So yeah. Also during this season, be mindful of having an overactive throat chakra. Be mindful of being condescending, pessimistic, and those sorts of things. Saturn will be in Capricorn, and Saturn is currently in retrograde, and that will be ending on September 17th. And with it in retrograde, it brings the thought that you are responsible for your own success and failures. So, that being said, in the Virgo season, you could find yourself addressing that, you being responsible. And when I read that, I thought about the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. And I think if it is in reverse, it means that you are responsible for your, before what's happening. And so, during this, time with Saturn being in Capricorn and being in retrograde, find yourself being looking and analyzing your ambition, your life lessons, some of the things that have been restricting you lately. You might be, about to free yourself, trying to free yourself, creating that change that you want to see to be comfortable, but also creating that change you want to see to make the change. And sometimes you're going to get a little uncomfortable as well. You might see yourself analyzing the boundaries that surround you and picking which ones you want to push against and which ones you want to let be. Maybe you want to create some boundaries during this time with your family members, since we're dealing with communication and expression and things like that. Also Saturn also deals with career, business, and wealth, and with it being in Virgo season,
Mommy.
And under Capricorn.
Mommy,
yes.
I'm thirsty.
Okay. With it being, in Capricorn, you're going to find yourself becoming more disciplined and responsible, because Capricorn is a very disciplined and responsible sign. They're also very unforgiving and condescending. So with this planet being in Capricorn, when you're dealing with your life lessons and stuff, be mindful of how you react to the different puzzle pieces you put together about your life lessons. Be careful how the moves that you make as far as business wise and how you obtain your wealth. Try not to have an overactive throat chakra in that sense of being condescending or malicious in your movements. Uranus will be in Taurus, and that retrograde began August 11th, and it's still going. So Uranus is in Taurus and it's in retrograde. And with it being a retrograde, it's a time, it's making you reflect on what needs to happen for you to rebel, seek freedom, seek change. Something spontaneous might happen during this time, because again, we're in the time of, change. This is a mutable sign. And it's also helping you change how we've been using our resources. And, referring to what's happening in the Amazon forest, it's making a lot of people reflect how we're using our resources. And maybe that was the spontaneous change that maybe it needed to happen for some people to think about rebelling and seeking freedom and seeking change. This is definitely a time where we're starting to rebel and seek freedom and seek change, when you think about what's going on politically and socially right now. Also spiritually wise, a lot of people are rebelling against, the traditions that they come from, and they're creating new ones. So yeah, that's happening. But also, because Taurus, we know Taurus is a rooted sign and it's a fixed sign, be mindful of the changes you make. Don't be too stuck on the first idea that comes to you. It's okay to analyze like 2 or 3 options. Don't be fixated on, things. Watch out for your horse blinders, because Virgo season is also the season of becoming a workaholic and maybe becoming too focused on one thing. So watch out for that. Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune is still in retrograde. It's been in retrograde since June 20th. And it's going to be over November 26th. And I thought that was so funny, because right now I'm on a fast. And it's over on November 26th. But anyway, Neptune, with it being in retrograde, there may be a tendency to escape reality. Neptune deals with what inspires you, illusions, confusion, imagination, creativity, blind spots, and addictions. And with Virgo being the master of communication, and with that mastery in communication, they have a tendency to create illusions and creativity with their words. Be mindful of the realities you create with your words during this season. Be mindful of the reality you create for others during this season. Be mindful of your gossiping. Be mindful that maybe some of the things that you're gossiping during this season, or just any season just in life, but just this is during the time where you're going to actually, where you should reflect on these things, even if you're not doing it regularly. But Just be mindful of, the information that you're repeating and the information that you're creating during this season. In Pisces, it governs over empathy, artistic, generous, compassion, intuitive, fearly. So we're dealing with emotions with that. Pluto's going to be in Capricorn. It's still in retrograde. It started in retrograde April 24th, and it's over October 2nd. And Pluto being a retrograde, this kind of controls like your inner beliefs, and your inner beliefs are changing. Pluto controls. Pluto kind of brings your secrets to life. It's like a planet to remind you, like a zodiac, to remind you where you want to take charge. It shows you where you feel powerless at. Maybe, maybe fears of things you need to get rid of from old to new. Trying to find like it makes sense in my head, but trying to make words for it. So, with it being in Capricorn, Capricorn is the cardinal sign, so it's an initiator sign. So you may find yourself wanting to initiate change in your life. You may find yourself coming face to face with things and situations that you have found yourself being powerless in. Maybe you thought for a long time you didn't have control over certain things, or you had to feel a certain way about certain things. And this is going to be the time where you face those things and you take initiative and you try to create the reality you want to create. But again, coming back to that balance of Virgo season, and also coming back to Neptune being in Pisces. Be mindful of your throat chakra, and be mindful and analyze the things before you try to create them during the season. Analyze what you're harvesting. Be mindful, because during the winter time is the time where you're going to be sitting in the things that you have created. And then summertime is when you can start making things anew. So just be mindful of how you want to spend this winter. Basically, in a nutshell. But so referring to the North Node and the South Node, the North Node and the South Node, that's like the lunar path. The sun has a solar path, the moon has a lunar path, and we know, unfortunately, ladies, every month the moon is going to enter every zodiac, and we will feel every zodiac still. We will still be everywhere. But the karmic direction, well, the North Node is in Cancer, and the karmic direction in this lifetime focuses on how we evolve and find fulfillment. That's what the North Node is. And with it being in Cancer, Cancer is about emotion. Cancer is about being in your shell, being inward. So maybe, how you evolve and find fulfillment, maybe you need to be in some level of solitude right now. Maybe you need to be in your shell. Maybe you need to check and analyze your emotions. The South Node is in Capricorn, and we know Capricorn is the zodiac of discipline, of organization. So the South Node deals with karma from your past life or childhood. So maybe you're coming from a rigid, disciplined space. Maybe your past dealt with, some level of, not necessarily abuse, but very, very harsh. And you're coming into a space of, you need to be in solitude, and you need to deal with those things. This time of analyzing. We're analyzing ourselves. We're analyzing our relationships with others. The new moon is August 30th, and it's in Virgo. And the new moon is the moon of rebirth and letting go and starting over, and intuition and getting involved. With it being in Virgo, under the rebirth, you're going to work towards making new things, and you're going to work towards solving problems and letting go of a lot of things under this new moon. We're letting a lot of stuff go. We cleaning house. And the stones to have on this altar, whether it be your body or your space altar, is garnet, sapphire, and selenite. Garnet is a protection stone. Sapphire is a calming, relaxing stone and communication stone. And selenite is a cleansing stone. It's also good to have ginger. Maybe drink some ginger tea, a drink a juice with ginger in it, and this will be energizing, and it provides assistance with your congestion because, as you know, we're about to step into flu season. The full moon is going to be in Pisces, and we know full moon this season is the full harvest moon. It's the autumnal equinox, and this is the moon of fertility. If you're going to do any harvesting, this is the time to do it. Again, coming back to the terms of productivity and creating and working. And the full moon is the moon of celebration. This is the time where life-altering events occur. This is the time of cleansing and recharging, being inspired, maybe playing with your imagination. We're playing with our throat chakra, maybe. We're creating during this time. And the best stones to have under this moon are the sunstone, clear quartz, and rose quartz. And the rose is for well-being of your emotions. So that's what's happening during this Virgo season. Hopefully my voice was not too mundane the whole time. We don't know. But just going over some of the stones, Virgo season stones are carnelians, and carnelians are the stone of energizing, motivation, confidence. It's a root sacral stone. It's connected with Mars. It's connected to the second chakra. It was once considered strictly the property of noble class. People holding high social status were buried with this stone, and it gives energy and it protects from bad vibrations. It protects against poverty. It enhances one's sense of humor and calms the temper. So we're coming with analyzing your emotions. We're coming with analyzing your communication skills, and also learning to create reality with your communication skills, creating humor. It helps the insecure to find strength within them so they can come into their own, because we know that Virgos have a terrible tendency to overanalyze themselves to the point where they become extremely insecure and self-conscious. So some of the jewelry that I have with carnelian, I have this beaded necklace, and this is kind of long, but yeah, I have this necklace. I also have this necklace, and this has carnelian lapis, which is a communication stone. It's a calming and relaxing stone, and clear quartz, and clear quartz is a charging stone. And the beads are also organites. Well, these are wooden beads, but these have carnelian and lapis and sapphire in them. I also have this Ankh ring. I really like this ring. This has sapphire, carnelian, and clear quartz in it. And it's adjustable. You can adjust the ring. I have two brooches. I have a Nefertiti brooch, and I also have an Africa brooch, and they're both carnelian, and they have silver in the inside. Silver is like moon goddess, fertility. You're dealing with feminine energy, intuition. I have a number of rings with carnelian in it. These rings also have garnet in it, amethyst. I have these two rings. This one has a number of different. This is the one with garnet, amethyst, and carnelian and rose quartz. This one has just all carnelians in it. So I have those two rings. I also have this one. This is carnelian. And it's also adjustable. And I have a bunch of small necklaces.
Please don't get me out.
Okay. I have this one. This is carnelian.
Can I be in there? Can I be in there, Mom?
Can I be in there?
Like,
I'll make it fall.
me.
Thank you.
Oh,
My necklaces are these ones. These are 50. Excuse me. Mom.
What's this?
That's why you can't be in here. Cause look at what you're doing. Too much.
What's this?
My necklaces are 20.
What's this?
I didn't put these on the website yet.
What's this?
It's a sphere.
Spear.
Sphere.
Here?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be scared.
Yeah. I have a square ones. This is another one I have. And this has a... Stop. That's mine. That's my personal one. Thank you. This one also has lapis at the top. It's like a lapis bead at the top. And it's wrapped in wire. And this is a regular circle. I tried to make them kind of like so a guy or a girl can wear them, and they're kind of like, you know, simple, but they do what they're supposed to do. This is sapphire and lapis. This is a nice blue circle for my subtle people that like small pieces of jewelry. This is sapphire, lapis, and carnelian. This is mossagate and carnelian. And the mossagate is like an earth fertility stone. It's associated with the heart chakra. So you're dealing with friendships and relationships and forgiveness and things of that nature. Cultivating relationships. And this is also carnelian. I have a lot of carnelian stuff. I wear carnelian all the time. I am a Virgo. I also have a sphere. This has carnelian, lapis, and sapphire in them. And my spheres are 30. I think the website has my spheres. They're 35. So are my pyramids are 35. And this has lapis, sapphire, and carnelian in them. And I also have, you know, a large silver wire in it. And now Jinx wants to be in the video. Hi, Jinx. So, yeah. Hold on, cat. I think that's it for the carnelian stuff. And I showed you guys the sapphire and lapis things I have, and that's communication and the throat chakra. I'm sorry, my cat is doing the whole most right now. Jinx, chill on me. Yes, okay. I also have this necklace. I also have this necklace. It's a beaded necklace. And that has lapis in it. Jinx, chill. Go get. Go. And I have these rings. And again, these are throat chakra, communication, relationship building. My contact is everywhere. I like these ones. And This one also has lapis and carnelian in it also. That's the one I took a picture with earlier. And I think that's it. And green aventurine is also a good one. Jade is also a good one because Virgo season deals with material wealth and the heart chakra because it's dealing with, who is it? The sixes. And the sixes deal with the heart chakra. And so I have also hematite. Hematite is also a stone for Virgo season. So I have a gold hematite bracelet. It's gold, hematite, and green aventurine. I also have a onyx, obsidian, and green aventurine bracelet. And you know the black stones are stones of protection. They're stones related to the root chakra. So this is aventurine and mossagate. And we got the silver on there. This is sunstone. So this is good for the full moon because this has sunstone, gold hematite, and matte onyx. That has nothing to do with this. This has mossagate and green hematite. I mean gold hematite. So that's a good one too. Get them all together. Woo. Oh, the dangle bracelet is my bracelet. That's my carnelian bracelet. I wear that every day. But yeah, that's how it will look. Oh, that's actually a nice like all set. I like that. But yeah, my bracelets are 10. Necklaces are 20. My bracelets are 10, and my rings are 10. This took me forever to make. I gotta take my stuff off. But this has sapphire, sapphire and mossagate in it. I really like how it came out.
You good?
Yeah.
You live?
Yeah.
You driving?
Yeah.
You alright?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't be showing too many people that, because that's mine.
Oh, my mom wants to.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the sapphire and mossagate. And I did like a really cool wire wrapping. And then I put some like glass beads in there. I made myself some waist beads in my free time. And so I just had a whole bunch of glass beads left over. But I made the bigger beads. These are sapphire beads. I made those. Those are organites. This is the organite. And then you had the mossagate pieces in between. This is also mossagate right here. And these are the glass beads. Glass beads. Thank you. It took me forever to make this one. But yeah, I like it. Came out cute. My mom, she's taking dibs on all the stuff that I put the most effort into. She's stealing everything. But that's it. I have hair pieces. I do make hair pieces because I have locks. But this is carnelian at the top, and these are glass beads, and I have a shell at the bottom, and it's copper. It has an extra copper wire, so you can either use this as a hair tie or you can use it as, you know, wrap around your locks. It's your world. I also have these really cute hoop earrings. These are good for the full moon. These are also good for Leos. But this is sunstone, gold hematite, and obsidian. And you know, sunstone and gold hematite, that's confidence and root chakra and wealth. Sunstone is energy, confidence. Obsidian is protection. So those are really good earrings for Leos or the full moon. Be out and about with some flyers, earrings, doing nonsense. And I have like a lot of other stuff that's not Virgo stuff, but it's just stuff that I like. Like this. This is garnet. And that's one of the stones for this season. This one is amethyst, obsidian, and clear quartz. It's also a great stone for the season. And these are pins that I'm showing you. I have some pictures of myself wearing these pins on my Instagram page or on my Facebook page, so you can see how they lay on your shirt and stuff like that. They look really nice. I like them. I have a whole collection of pins that I wear every day with my clothes, and I like it. Like, oh. This is another pin, and I like this one. She has citron in her earring because she fly, and that's tiger's eye. Tiger eye is a good eye opener protection stone, but it's protecting you, but it helps you see realizations at the same time. So yeah, that's what's happening. And I have a lot of beaded necklaces. I can show you them. This has obsidian, amethyst, and clear quartz, and sunstone and obsidian beads. This is tiger eye with hematite beads. I showed you those ones already. I have a lot more stuff. This is stuff that's associated with Virgo season. And I usually, when I do events, my prices are better because I'm in person. But this is lapis and obsidian, and also sodalite, and that's good for calming and protection. And I like this. It's nice, just beads. So, yep, that's what I have. I have a really nice amethyst Africa shaped ring. This is on a gold band that's also adjustable. Same as this one, amethyst. But this is on a copper band that's also adjustable. And this is amethyst and obsidian. Alright guys, I'm clocking out. I showed y'all everything about the Virgo season. I went over Virgo season with you guys. Also, as far as the Metu Netter book goes, what do I do with it? I lost. I have no idea where my book went. Oh, it's hiding. So, as far as Metu Netter goes, this is the season of Sebek. It's the 8th sphere, which is the sphere of physical. Planet Mercury. And Wednesday. It's colored, it's saffron and red and black. The number 3 in emerald. The time of year is the side road full moon in Gemini and Virgo. As far as herbalism goes, this is the time to have in your bath Abre Camino, Arasa Contodo, oregano, lavender, and larkspur. That's what you should put in your bath during this time. Oils, lavender, and lily of the valley. And incense are lavender and lily of the valley. The spiritual direction during the season is the northeast, and the mundane direction is the south. And so, this goes on to talk about, the traits that we see of the Virgos being gossipy, opinionated, scheming, sly, the Orisha, um, and Hermes, um, and logical and analytical, but very right brained. Um, they do separate things a lot, distinguish things a lot. Reading, the time of day. Um, this is a good time to engage in activities that require dry and cold, which means like all your paperwork, litigation, disputes, like any type of business ventures or like accounting or anything like that. This is a good time to take care of those things because this is the season of productivity and servitude. So, yeah. Serve your friends, serve your families, work on your communication, be mindful of the things you say and the realities you create during this season. Analyze, your decisions and the things that you are trying to achieve. That's it. Good night.